Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Martins Dixon. The Kwara State government has said that the 7-month-old baby who was isolated in the state on the suspicion of Ebola has tested negative to the virus. The boy was said to have manifested symptoms similar to Ebola disease, Lassa fever and malaria. The Special Assistant to the Kwara State Governor on Information, Deji Oni, in a statement on Sunday stated that the state government has received the result of the suspect's test from the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, which showed that the boy tested negative to the Ebola virus. Oni, who is a member of Kwara State Committee on the Prevention and Control of Ebola virus, stated that with the development, the state remains Ebola-free. He added that shortly after the country recorded the first case, the state government inaugurated a 14-man committee on the prevention and control of the virus, saying that the governor also ordered the immediate procurement of laboratory equipment and reagents, which are already stationed at the Harmony Advanced Medical Diagnostic Center in Ilorin. The first Nigerian diagnosed with Ebola virus disease has been declared fit enough to be discharged. Ameyo Adedevo, a medical doctor who contracted the disease from the late Liberian-American Patrick Sawyer, has been released from the quarantine center in Lagos. Nigeria's health authorities say the senior consultant was cleared to go home after she recovered from the disease. Meanwhile, Lagos State government has denied the reported case of death of person infected with Ebola virus disease at the Alimosho General Hospital, Igando, or any of the other government hospitals in the state. In a statement by the State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Lateef Ibirogba, the government dispelled rumor making the rounds that an Ebola-affected person had died at the government-owned hospital in Alimosho. He says the State Commissioner for Health, Jide Idris, had addressed the issue during the last Ebola virus disease update press briefing, where he assured residents of the state that the hospital was safe and medically sound for them to patronize. Ibirogba cautioned residents against sending panicky, unsubstantiated messages through the social media network, adding that the Ebola virus disease is being properly managed by the state government in collaboration with the federal government and other international partners. He stressed that the state has opened an isolation ward for the treatment of Ebola virus infected persons, where they will be adequately managed by experts in line with the World Health Organization standards. He explained that only 4 deaths, including the index case, have been recorded in the country since the deadly disease was imported by the Liberian, adding that all hands are on deck to get rid of the disease. Sierra Leone is one of the countries most affected by Ebola. French non-governmental organization Médecins Sans Frontières says survivors are being allowed to return home if they can prove that they are no longer contagious. Sierra Leone has stepped up efforts against the deadly Ebola virus.
So far we've had more than 200 confirmed cases at our Ebola center, and we've had 52 survivors. Anyone who's confirmed to have Ebola then is monitored. If they stop having symptoms, then a second test will be done. And the test will look to see if the viral load has fallen to the point where the person is no longer infectious. And at that point they can be discharged and go home to their communities. Today we're taking survivors home to their village, which is very exciting for us because it means we have survivors, and it's also really beneficial to the overall response to the outbreak, because when survivors go home, they can explain about their experience at the center. They give people hope that it's possible to survive, and it really builds trust between the community.
Kenyan government has announced the closure of its borders to travelers from Guinea, Liberia and Sierra Leone, the 3 countries worst hit by the Ebola outbreak. Kenyan Airways also announced that it will suspend its flights to Freetown and Monrovia. Several European carriers have already suspended services to the Sierra Leonean and Liberian capitals, where states of emergency have been declared to try to slow the spread of the disease. Kenyan Health Minister James Macharia said the measure was also aimed at travelers who have passed through the affected countries. Macharia said the measure does not affect health workers fighting the epidemic, nor Kenyans returning home from the 3 countries. He, however, warned that both groups will be subject to strict check and, if necessary, put people in quarantine. The move came amidst an international appeal to help contain the deadly virus, which has already killed over 1,000 people across West Africa. Reactions have started to trail federal government's suspension of 16,000 striking resident doctors. While some want the government to immediately end the face-off due to the deadly Ebola crisis in the country, others are of the opinion that the doctors' action were illegal and in sharp contrast to their professional oath. Omotayo Alo, who was at the official launch of the Sunday Niche newspaper, took some dignitaries up on the issue.
The recent announcement by federal government placing all the resident doctors protesting their poor condition of service on suspension has been generating serious reactions from Nigerians. Many feel that the government should have known that the importation of the Ebola virus into the country by a Liberian American has presented an unprecedented health emergency in the country, and the doctors' demand should have been met so that they can return to work. Others argue that the oath of the medical profession does not permit any doctor to go on strike, and breaching the oath is a serious offense that can lead to termination of appointment. A member of the National Assembly, Abike Dabiri Iriwa, says this is no time to toy with doctors' demand.
Whoever advised the president gave a very, very wrong advice. It's going to be counterproductive. It's not going to help us. And it's one of the reasons why our doctors are living in droves to work abroad. So I do not support it at all. And I believe that the president should be magnanimous enough to rescind that decision.
A delegate of the just concluded national conference, Anya O Anya, stressed the doctors should understand clearly their essential service role in the society and should not resort to the use of strike as a tool in resolving face-off with government.
I understand how the doctors feel. However, we're in a national emergency. They took an oath to save life. And when you get to the point where it's a matter of life and death for the millions of Nigerians, no doctor has the responsibility, unless he's irresponsible and amoral, to say he will not give his service.
Chairman of All Progressives Grand Alliance Party, Victor Ume, encourages government and the striking doctors to find a quick resolution to the face-off in order to guarantee a healthy society.
Doctors, by their training, are not supposed to go on strike. If you are a trained doctor, you must be ready at all times by the ethics of your profession to save lives. You cannot say that you're a doctor because of pay. For example, you allow somebody who is sick to die. It's an immortal sin.
It is very obvious that there is a health emergency in the country, with 4 deaths recorded from the Ebola virus and several others still under surveillance for the disease. Government and doctors should come to compromise to save the afflicted ones. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Nigeria's military says troops have dismantled a terrorist base in Durum Baga near Lake Chad. The insurgents were said to be massing for a reprisal attack on the troops when they were dislodged. A statement posted on the website of Defense Headquarters indicates that soldiers from the Multinational Joint Task Force carried out the dawn operation. Defense Headquarters added that 17 terrorists died in the raid, but noted that those who escaped into neighboring islands in the Lake Chad Peninsula are still being pursued. Meanwhile, calm has been restored in Durum Baga after last Sunday's attack by terrorists who infiltrated the community, with some of them disguised as women in hijab. You're watching CoreTV News on the Hour. We'll be taking a break. I will be back shortly.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome you to From the Ivory Tower. And happenings around the country, varsity teachers get to air their views. Students are actually not left out. We bring you intellectual ins on the events happening around you. This is dedicated to educating the populace with a spice of entertainment.
From the Ivory Tower, Tuesdays, only on CoreTV News.
The Falconets, Nigeria's under-20 women football team, is set to play New Zealand in one of the quarter-final matches at the ongoing FIFA Women's World Cup in Canada. The match comes up at the Moncton Stadium by 9 p.m. Nigerian time. Falconets head coach Peter De Devbo says the team will go into the game with all seriousness. He added that the team will exhibit the character they used against England. The Falconets qualified top of their group from the group stage of the competition. And that's all we can take on this hour. Join us on top of the hour for more in-depth news and reports. I am Martin Dixon.